hate when that happens. They get hung right there on the top. Come on now. There you go. That's heavy. Guys, I get a lot of questions about this flag that's hanging in the shop. As you can see, the sawmill's in there. We're in the other part of the shop right now. And that is the Tennessee state flag right there. Hi guys, welcome back to the sawmill. It's Monday, and guess what? It's not raining today. I know that's a shocker to everybody. But this is the first day we've had, I can't remember how long, we got blue skies going on. And my goodness, I'm thankful for it. We've been getting just a terrible run of bad luck with weather since back before Christmas. It's either been snowing or raining almost every day here at the mill. So on the sawmill today, guys, we got another white pine. This is an 8-footer. We're gonna be sawing this into 1x6s. I'm gonna be using that for sheathing on top of the trusses to attach the metal to for the barn. We're putting black metal on top of the timber frame. Actually, it came in last week. It looks really good. So I had a Patreon ask me this question last week, and I meant to handle it in the last video, but I forgot. I know it's a shocker. I'm forgetting stuff up here. And it was a Patreon member, Mike Miller. He asked me when I put a log on the sawmill, what considerations do I think about before I even run the sawmill down through it? That's a really good question because there's a lot of stuff that goes through your mind when you put a log on your sawmill. He just bought a LT40 a while back, so he's a brand new sawyer. And that's a good question here to answer to you guys that's never ran a sawmill before. So let's go over those things real fast, and then we'll get going. All right guys, you all are looking at the operator side of the timber that faces me. When I say operator side, I checked the other end of this timber already. It's 23.5 inches. And I gotta be careful here with my measuring tape. Look at the pitch dripping off this pine right here. My God, that gets on everything. Gets on your measuring tape, gets on everything. But you wanna measure your diameter on both ends, 21 inches right here, so you can decide what your small end is and your large end, so you can keep that in your head. And most of the time when you're sawmilling, you want the small end facing you. So we got this thing on here the right way. The small end is facing me here on the operator's side, and we got a 2-inch difference in diameter front to back, and the length of this log also is 8 feet. The second thing I like to do is check for taper. Now down there on the far end, when I checked the diameter, I measured it up and down on purpose because I got the log turned the way I want it. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. So I'm looking at about a 2-inch taper from the small end to the large end. And that way you can go ahead on your first cut if you want to and get rid of that taper. Either your first or your second cut, you've got to get rid of the taper, guys. And most of the time I do it on the first cut. That way it's done and I don't have to worry about it anymore. So we've got about a 2-inch taper right here, and we'll fix that on the first cut by using the toe boards. All 'Cause 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 ' There's only two things left to do on this timber and I'm ready to saw. I run down, I look at both sides, I look for any kind of rock or branches that are sticking out right here that wasn't trimmed off properly. There's one over here I need to take care of. And just look for anything out of the ordinary here on the sawmill. Make sure the track is free of debris, no bark hanging down. You know, make sure the hydraulics look okay, there's nothing going on. But the main thing is check out the bark, you know, and make sure there's no little tiny rocks or gravels that you can see that are showing, because you never know about stuff, guys. All this timber gets felled in the forest, it gets drug out by a skidder. There's all kinds of opportunities for the logs to pick up all kinds of foreign material in the bark. And anytime you hit a rock or mud or anything, that's going to really decrease your blade life on these sawmills. There's nothing you can do about it. So once I do that, I pick my best face. I'm not grade sawing today. If I was grade sawing, I'd be looking for the clearest face to saw from. But since we're not even fooling with that today, we're doing 1x6s for construction purposes. I'm just looking for a decent face with not too many knots. And I found that right here. But there's still a lot of knots right there. There's knot clusters every 18 inches on a log like this. And this is white pine from Northeast Tennessee. Our pine here has branches very low. They go all the way up. This right here probably came from somebody's yard. I guess that's it. I don't think I forgot anything. That's a shocker right there as well. So let's get sawing, guys. Hang in there with me. Some nice white pine coming off the mill.